Optimism helps your health. Choosing an optimistic mindset not only bolsters your emotional health, but it also has a direct positive effect on your physical health. Learn how optimism can not only get you out of dark times, but can help you thrive during disability. When people think of optimism, some of these cheesy sayings come to mind. See the glass half full instead of half empty. When life hands you lemons, make lemonade. Every cloud has a silver lining. Hope against hope. Things have a way of working out for the best. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Keep your chin up. Hang in there. There are plenty of fish in the sea. When one door closes, another one opens. See the world through rose-colored glasses. Count your blessings. Everything's coming up roses. But what is optimism really? Optimism is a mental state of mind characterized by hope and confidence in success and a positive future. People who are optimistic expect positive outcomes and good things happening in their future. Optimistic attitudes are linked to a number of benefits, including better coping skills, lower stress levels, better physical health, and higher persistence when pursuing goals. But most importantly, optimism leads to better health. A large study conducted by the Harvard School of Public Health found that most optimistic women were 30% less likely to die from any of the serious illnesses tracked during the 8-year time period, including cancer, heart disease, and stroke. A positive mindset is associated with better health and a lower chance of disease. A review of 15 studies with over 200,000 participants found a 35% lower chance of getting heart disease and a 14% lower chance of early death in people who are optimists. People who are optimistic also have a better result following surgery, with fewer complications requiring hospital readmission. According to a study published in Clinical Psychology Review, optimism is closely linked to resilience. Optimism has been shown to create physical and mental resilience for people, even those who have been through extraordinarily traumatic life circumstances or medical situations. Let's be clear, optimism is a choice, just as in the case of a dynamic guest we have next on the show. Well, welcome to My So-Called Disabled Life.
Thank you.
We're going to be talking about how optimism helps your health. And we have a very special guest here with us today, Daniel Garcia. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, thank you.
I want to first start off by having you tell our audience exactly how you became disabled.
Okay, about 3 years ago, I was hit by a school bus and I had 8 brain bleeds. My lungs collapsed. I had 2 strokes.
Wow. So how long was your recovery period?
I'm still recovering to this day. Hopefully, hopefully, but every day is a recovery day. But it took me about 2 years to come back. About 80%.
Okay, about 80%. So about after the accident, about how long were you in the hospital?
In the hospital, I was in there for a month.
A month? Wow,
Yeah.
that's a long time. Did you go to any like rehabilitation after
Yes.
that?
Yes. I went to rehab. I went to a place called Van Meter for another month and a half.
Was that inpatient?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And then did you do outpatient rehab after that?
Yes. So I did another like about 2 or 3 months of rehab from the outside.
Wow. Okay, great. Now, like, and just to say, looking at you, you don't look disabled,
Well,
which is what we call invisible disabilities, right?
I get, yeah, because people don't see that I'm handicapped.
Exactly. Exactly. So, um, one thing I want to ask you is what did the doctors tell you your prognosis would be?
Um, well, my memory my memory would not stay intact for a long period of time, so I can't remember what they would tell me. But I know that
Okay.
when I started coming to like outpatient, they said that I had 2 years to recover, and then that's it.
Okay. And as far as like 2 years, that was the recovery period. And then after that, you pretty much wouldn't recover after that, is what you
Yes,
mean?
yes.
Okay. I got you. So, what would you say were the lasting effects of
Um,
your accident?
well, I I walk I walk to everyone says I walk normally,
Hmm.
but to me I feel like I don't. I feel like I limp, but people
Okay.
say I don't. I
Okay.
also feel like I have a speech impediment. People say I don't. I feel like I do.
Okay. And that's basically you comparing yourself to
Yes.
how you
Who I
were
used to be.
before.
Yes. What I used to be.
Yeah, exactly. Now, how has that transition been for you as far as how you used to be and how you are now? How is that emotionally for you?
Well, the first year to 2 years, it was extremely difficult. I would sit in my wheelchair and I would cry sometimes. I would start crying, and then a day came where I was like, either you can stay crying and really no one will ever care, or you can get up and do something, get out of this where you're at.
Mhm.
And I chose to get up.
You chose to get up.
Yeah.
Now, choosing to get up, that hits on the topic of the show. Choosing to get up is optimism, right? Because
Yes.
optimism is a mindset.
Yes.
It's a
You have to
mindset.
be.
You
You have
can
to
be
be positive.
pessimistic or you can be optimistic.
Yes.
Right. So, what made you get up?
Um. I guess thinking that I wanted to be back to who I was. I wanted to
Mhm.
be able to, able-bodied and able to be just kind of. I used to be so fast, very strong, and that all changed. Like within a day, it just changed, and I wanted to get back to that person, but I
Right.
never will. But
Mhm.
if I can come close, that's great. That's a great achievement.
Yes, that's an excellent achievement. So, why was pessimism never an option for you?
Well, I've always been a strong person,
Okay.
always, and I never, I've never had anyone do anything for me. So when people had started like feeding me, bathing me, that was too much for me. I had to be like, no, I had to do that myself,
Hmm.
and I literally fought my way back to doing it, to do everything myself.
Right. So, would you say that optimism, in and of itself, how much of a factor did that play in your healing journey?
Oh, it played so much. If I wasn't optimistic, I could just stayed stuck in the wheelchair and kept crying and never done anything. But
Hmm.
that being optimistic, looking how good things can be,
Hmm.
that got me to stand up to, I run sometimes.
Right.
And I mean, I don't
Exactly.
run very far. I might fall, but I would get back up.
With that, that's the thing. You get back up.
Yeah.
You get back up. So, how does optimism help you today?
Well, today I it helped me through a lot. I started my own business.
Right.
I
What
started,
now? What business is that?
it's a cleaning business.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What type of cleaning business?
It right now I've only like done like a couple houses. I clean like yards and things like that, garages.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
That's great. That is awesome. Do you have any other aspirations, any other goals?
Oh yes, I would like to really put my focus into music
Mm-hmm. And what
because
type of music is that?
I rap. I know it sounds funny, but I rap.
That is great. That is absolutely awesome. And was that something that you were doing before you became
No,
disabled?
no. I mean, I've always been able to do it, but
Hmm.
now I feel like I want to do it professionally. I want to try and put my ability professionally into music.
So what changed?
Um, the feeling that I don't have a lot of time left.
Mm. Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, the research I've done on the damage of a TBI and strokes, I've seen that I most likely will have a serious one within like 10 years.
Hmm.
Yeah. So time for me is like of the essence. I have to do things fast.
Right. So let me ask you, how do you balance optimism with realism?
That's a good question. A lot of people think I don't. A lot of people think I'm too optimistic. I'm too upbeat about things.
Is that possible?
Everything's possible. Me walking and talking was not supposed to be possible. The doctors told me I would not be able to talk, to feed myself, to walk, anything, to even drive. I drive.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
None of that
great.
was possible. I made it all possible because what you say you can accomplish, you can do it.
Right. Exactly. Right. So, as far as the cleaning is concerned and the wrapping is concerned, you have your goals for the future. Now, what would your advice be for someone who let's do it in a couple of stages. What would your advice be for someone who just became disabled and is looking at a future that is a big question mark and that is uncertain? And the doctors are telling them a mixed bag and they don't know what to believe. What would your advice as far as optimism be for them?
Well, my advice is like this. My mom just had a stroke, and
Mhm.
she's going through everything I went through. And I tell her, you will never. It's hard to say, but you will never be like you were before. So you have to, uh, build your life around who you are now. And who you are now, you can't be letting it. You can't let that person stay stuck down. You have to build them up. And I would
Mm.
tell someone who's just got injured and the doctor tell them that they can't do anything, don't listen. You can do everything. Anything that you want and you wish, you can do it.
Wow. Now, then, what would be your advice for someone who is disabled and has been disabled, but is in a funk? Because, being disabled is not a very hard, it's not a very easy life to live,
No, no.
and it's very easy to get stuck in the day to day hard living.
Yes, and
It's hard to
wind
live
up.
day to day as a disabled person.
Yes.
So, what would your advice be for the person who is disabled and has been there for a while, but is just kind of stuck in the rut that they're in?
I would tell them this. They need they need to change their outlook of everything being the same, a constant pace of everything, and to change it, to make themselves more powerful. Because that's
Mm,
still possible. You can be in a wheelchair, you can be so handicapped, but you can still make yourself more powerful.
Yes. And that actually is one of the points of the show, My So-Called Disabled Life, and in my vision for the show. Because I said that no matter what position you're in, you always can be a little bit better.
Yes.
You always can be a little bit better.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your wonderful advice, for your wisdom and your outlook, and sharing your story, Daniel. And I hope that you will join us again in the future.
I sure will.
And definitely share some of your rap tunes with us. I want to
can
follow up with that and hear some of that.
Okay.
And definitely know how the cleaning business is going.
All right.
Okay. Well, you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I would like to leave you with a quote from the late, great Wayne W. Dyer. What is hope but a feeling of optimism? A thought that says things will improve. It won't always be bleak. There's a way to rise above the present circumstances. Hope is an internal awareness that you do not have to suffer forever, and that somehow, somewhere, there is a remedy for despair, that you will come upon it if you can only maintain this expectancy in your heart. Tune in next time as we talk about invisibility of disability. Join the My So-Called Disabled Life Facebook page to join in lively discussions about disability. If you are enjoying this video, then join the family by subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell.